What's cracking, everybody? Zerfelros here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. Today we've got yet another Double Dragon video brought to you by a fellow member of the community, Bruetschle. Thank you so much, dude, for submitting these battles. He is the Master League specialist in the faction that I'm in, Rock, Paper, Slark. So keep an eye out for us and open, everybody, because we're going to rip and tear apart the faction tier. But anyway, so Reshiram is our featured Pokemon today on the safe swap. Zekrom is the closer, and Melmetal is the big bouncer at the door, getting the fairies on out of here. If you'd like to submit some battles for the channel, got a link in the description to a form you can fill out. Please check it out. Also, I'm on Metafy if you're looking for some PvP coaching, as well as my Patreon, where if you want to get the tips for season 12 or 11, whatever the next season is going to be, as well as teams, tricks, tips, basically everything under the sun. Check that out. Otherwise, you can follow me on my socials. Anyway, let's get into these battles because these are going to be some good ones, I have a feeling. So let's get into this. So we've got Melmetal on the lead versus a Giratina. This is a bad lead for the Melmetal, so we're looking to expect to swap out into the Reshiram, which he does. Reshiram is now met by a Dialga. Now this is actually a pretty good matchup for Dialga because Dialga is taking neutral damage from these Dragon Breaths, but Crunch is going to come through and hope to get that defense drop. And then basically we're expecting this to be the hard counter to the Reshiram, so hopefully Zekrom will have a chance to sweep in the back. But unfortunately, Reshiram is going to go down before it can get another move off, but it does get a shield with that Crunch, which is ideal. So Melmetal is likely going to come in here. And Melmetal is going to like to go for the superpower and or maybe bait with a rock slide. Most likely going to go for the superpower because then we can switch out on the Zekrom. Thunder comes from the Dialga, though. Very unexpected. Typically they're on Iron Head and Draco Meteor. Some of them do run Thunder. I'm going to go straight for the superpower. This is going to debuff this Melmetal, but Dialga's going to go down, and now we're going to find out what's in the back. We've got Giratina, and the opponent is not swapping out. We wonder if they're weak to Electric in the back. They're going to shield this up, expecting a potential Shadow Ball, and it is just the Ominous Wind bait. Unfortunate, but the shield still counts, and now Crunch is probably going to come through after a little bit more energy is gained here, and Crunch is going to hit this Giratina for super effective damage. So let's see if they want to shield the Giratina. Oh yeah, they're going to shield the Giratina. I think Giratina's looking to get another Shadow Ball. Bruetschle here is not going to let that happen. He's going to shield up the Zekrom against another Ominous Wind. Kind of not sure why they wouldn't go for the Shadow Ball in that scenario, but Wild Charge is going to be able to do some serious damage on this Kyogre. Kyogre is going to be able to get to a Surf. I wonder if Bruetschle understands that he needs to get to probably 2 moves here, and that's probably why he's letting this go and farming up so much. So he's going to go for the Wild Charge here. Probably going to take out Kyogre from this particular HP range. Let's see if it does. Takes out the Kyogre, and he's got a Crunch loaded for the Giratina, which is now going to go down, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. Melmetal's just, he didn't do much. He's just sitting there, having fun. So let's get into this next battle here. We've got Melmetal on the lead versus Zacian. So this is a not so great lead for the Melmetal because it has to be afraid of the close combat. But if it can tank one close combat, the Rock Slides actually are pretty scary. So you also can't really swap in here because you got Double Dragons in the back. So let's go ahead and see what Bruetschle decides to do here. Going to take a close combat that does about 80%, but he's going to fire back with a Rock Slide now. The Rock Slide's going to come through, and now that the defense has dropped significantly on this big dog here, it's probably doing enough damage that obviously warrants a shield from the opponent. Are they going to do 2 shields? No. So basically it's going to be essentially 2 half health of the Zacian here. And now they're going to come in with Togekiss to answer the Reshiram safe swap. Reshiram's going to go straight for the overheat and look to do some big damage. Takes out almost the entire Togekiss. And now Togekiss isn't going to be able to charm down. Look at this. If Bruetschle decides to shield, he can win switch here. Do we decide to win switch though? No. Oh, he's going to call it. He calls the Ancient Power, and he's able to hang on by just a little bit. Reshiram takes switch and a shield advantage here. And now Zekrom is primed to sweep. However, Zacian's going to come back in not before it takes yet another overheat from this Reshiram. Reshiram is going to get this overheat off, but it's significantly debuffed, but still going to get a shield because the opponent needs to keep their Zacian alive. So Melmetal with 2 shields now just needs to get to a Rock Slide really to take this out. Now, Bruetschle is probably going to end up shielding this. Let's see if he does. No, he's going to let it go. Lets it go. Zekrom's going to come in and attempt to close this game out. And against the Giratina, that is no problem whatsoever. Giratina is going to eat this crunch, maybe a couple Dragon Breaths, and then that is going to be basically the game. With 2 shields, Zekrom can easily block. I don't care. It's a crunch on a Giratina. We don't care. You can easily block both moves from the Zacian and then easily just go for the game. And even at this point, with 1 shield, he's probably got the ability to go for a Wild Charge and then close this out. So, but I don't think you really need to. I think you could just probably let this go. I'm pretty sure Zekrom actually lives a close combat from this range. But either way, going to be able to get there before the opponent is going to be able to get to another close combat, and that is a good game. Very well played. I love hitting the button. Don't judge me. Alright, we got this next battle coming up here. So these first set of battles, this was actually from Season 10. So he was legend at this point, but was having fun with this team. We have another set of battles afterwards that are entirely from this current season interlude. So this has also got some ranked play. This team is extremely potent in ranked play too. So don't forget, you know, once we get Elo back next season, you can take this team into the Open Master League. Now, the opponent goes for the Stone Edge here, which is weird. Usually you would expect them to go for a Superpower, but that's okay. Superpower is super effective and is technically the less energy costing move of the Landorus, but in this particular case, not debuffing themselves is probably what they were going for. Maybe trying to get a shield off of the Melmetal. Some lag comes up here, and then the Landorus eats the Rock Slide and is going to go ahead and try to throw a move here. Now, Bruetschle looks like he's going to just respect the potential that this is an Earthquake, and he's going to go ahead and shield. Now Dialga comes in to counter the Reshiram, or the Zekrom. This is Zekrom. Zekrom's the black one. Crunch is going to come through from the Zekrom, but just like we saw earlier against the Dialga, it's going to get a shield, but that Dragon Breath damage adds up much more quickly on the Zekrom than it would flipping the script and against the Dialga. So Dialga is going to be able to win switch here, but have an even shield scenario where it can now throw an Iron Head into the Melmetal. Melmetal is going to just go straight for a move and probably get a shield or take out this Dialga. And hopefully, just like we saw in the first game, we will be able to use Reshiram to sweep. Now, I think you have to. No, you're going to let it go. He's going to put all of his trust into the Reshiram right now. Reshiram with this farm and Reshiram with these moves. We're going to see if Reshiram can hang on and take out this rest of this team. Dialga was a tall order for this team, especially without Melmetal, but he's got Yveltal in the back, so Overheat is essentially the only thing that he can use to hit this thing with for damage. He's going to go for the Crunch bait now, and Crunch is hopefully going to get that debuff, and it gets a shield, which is absolutely huge. He's going to go ahead and shield his Dark Pulse, because otherwise he's going to lose the game. And Dark Pulse shield as we expected. And now he's probably going to have to go for the Overheat. Probably going to need to time this one in the middle of the move, just like that. Throwing with excellent timing. The Overheat is going to come through. And that, I believe, is going to close this game out, because that Landorus has almost no HP left, and that is it. Good game. Wow, that was exciting. Very well played. I didn't think it was going to happen, folks. I'm going to be honest. Alright, Melmetal lead versus yet another Giratina Origin. Horrible lead. We're swapping straight to Reshiram, luring out the potential hard counter for these dragons. And what do we get but a Lugia? Now, I don't know if Lugia knows that Reshiram has Crunch. And Crunch will do a decent amount of chunk damage to this Lugia. Despite how bulky it is, and he gets a defense drop. That's huge. So the defense drop and being able to get to this next Crunch before the Lugia can threaten with a, well, would be an Aero Blast. They should be at a Sky Attack by now, but they may not know the Crunch counts from Dragon Breath, so at this point, Bruetschle can probably go for a switch if he wants to, but he's not. He's going to take the opportunity to probably farm up on this Melmetal and be able to not have to worry about taking anything other than resisted damage on the Melmetal from this Lugia. Now, let's see if he comes in. Yep, there's the Melmetal, looking to farm it all the way down, most likely. He may have to tank an Aeroblast, but it's resisted, and this is the level 50 Open Master League. Everything's super tanky up in this league here, so that's okay. Aeroblast barely tickles Melmetal, and now Lugia is going to get farmed all the way down. Melmetal comes into this matchup with almost 100 energy, and that is a win condition for this trainer here. Looking to bring in their Zekrom, and now Melmetal comes to meet it, but Melmetal does not have a moveset that can really threaten Zekrom with shields. So, Rock Slide going to do just a little bit of chip damage, but now Zekrom can hit it with crunches or wild charges and do respectable neutral damage back to it. Still no shield from this trainer here at all. No need to respect this Melmetal's damage because, quite frankly, it doesn't really have any. It's double resisting the Thunder Shocks, and the Rock Slides are doing neutral chip damage, so he's more than set right now to take this game. However, that Giratina is a problem for the Melmetal, but with 100 energy, Giratina is not going to have a huge chance, especially now that it's down 0 shields. We see an attempted catch to try and get the charge move, and now Melmetal's going to swap in as it hoped to, and he's going to go for that superpower to absolutely just annihilate the other Melmetal. And now what's going to happen is Giratina is going to come back in, and Giratina is going to be rock sliding, or going to get rock slided into oblivion, and then Zekrom has a move loaded, able to throw that crunch as soon as the switch clock comes back up, and this is basically a good game, ladies and gentlemen. There's not really a whole lot that the opponent can do in this particular situation, given the masterful play of the Zekrom and Melmetal by Bruetschle here. So just gonna, continue to watch, maybe grab some popcorn while we watch this unfold. This is gonna be a minute. This is not a very fast matchup by any means, but the Ominous Wind comes through, and still not going to be able to give that Giratina the much-needed boost it would need in order to have a chance in this matchup. Rock Slide comes through, almost enough, but nope. Oh, he doesn't have a crunch ready, but that's okay. The Dragon Breath damage is enough to take it out, and that is a good game. Really? He's excited. Just like me, I'm excited too to see Togekiss up against Melmetal, so let's see if the opponent, yep, they're going to come in, and they're going to come in with Dialga. That is not... What's up, buddy? That is not going to be an effective situation. That's not going to be an effective solution to dealing with a Melmetal, because Melmetal is typically going to be the counter to this Dialga, but Bruetschle here is going to go for several superpowers in a row here to try and either get shields or chunk the HP off of the Dialga, and here comes my son Leon. Here and happy to watch these dragons annihilate things. So, here comes this Zekrom, and it's going to try to do a bunch of damage and or farm down this Dialga entirely. And now, this is going to put Zekrom in a situation where it can threaten the Togekiss with a Wild Charge. And Togekiss doesn't like eating Wild Charges, and it's also walled by Melmetal. So, the Togekiss effectively does not have very much play here, but Bruetschle is likely going to go for the Wild Charge immediately unless they come in with something else. So, let's just kind of see what they do. Nope, here comes the Togekiss, and they are going to get electrocuted into oblivion here. Wild Charge comes through. Does it hit the Togekiss? No, the Togekiss does shield, and they will charm down. So now, definitely the Melmetal is going to come back in. Waiting up the switch timer just in case. Here comes the Melmetal, and Giratina is going to meet it. Reshiram comes out in kind to counter this Giratina, and the Giratina has essentially nowhere to go here. What's going to happen is that the Giratina is going to get eaten by, or is going to get a crunch coming its way. But Reshiram is going to overfarm on energy just a bit to try and get to that overheat before the Togekiss can farm it all the way down. So Crunch is going to come through, and that will take out Giratina. And let's see if Bruetschle can get to the overheat beforehand. Nope, he's going to fire off the Crunch. That is a good call by him to get some chip damage in against this Togekiss before going down. And now the Melmetal is going to come in and just needs a couple of Rock Slides, and with a shield that should be no problem. That is looking like a good game. Very well played. The Bouncer, Melmetal, out here, just taking these fairies and saying, get out of my club. This is a dragons-only club. Get out. Gonna shield up just in case it's a flamethrower. We don't want to lose to the flamethrower. And there it is. And now with just one single Thunder Shock, that Melmetal is going to be able to take this Togekiss out. And that is a good game. So now we're jumping into the rank 20 battles from this season. So we've got Garchomp on the lead. This is actually not bad. As long as you're not a Melmetal. So Melmetal can't really deal with this, but the opponent is not swapping out, and they come in with an Excadrill. This looks interesting. This looks like Master League Premier Cup, but it's not, ladies and gentlemen. This is Excadrill. An Excadrill is technically a hard counter to the Reshiram, but it's an even harder counter to the Zekrom. So we kind of hope that this is the hard counter here. It's kind of interesting that they're running a double ground team, though. Wonder what they do against Tyler. What are you doing, you silly boy? What are you doing? He's a goofball. So Reshiram gets 2 defense drops on this Excadrill and now has a chance to win Switch, and I think they have to. Unfortunately, though, with energy, that Garchomp can seriously threaten the rest of Bruetschle's team here. So we'll see what he decides to do. Yep, he's going to come in with his Zekrom, get a little bit of energy going on here, and he's going to look to take out this Garchomp, hopefully with a shield that'll be able to Dragon Breath down the Garchomp and deal with whatever is left in the back. See you later, buddy. Alright, easily Dragon Breath down without the Garchomp getting to a move. And here comes Metagross. So it looks like the opponent is playing their Master League Premier Cup team, or just saying, I don't need legendaries in this Legendary Open Master League. But that's okay, because Zekrom is going to put its dominance on the table with a Crunch, and then it's going to do it again with a Wild Charge. So I think he was looking to go for that defense drop. I wonder which one actually does more damage. Wild Charge probably does more damage. That's a respectable amount of damage, and now Melmetal just needs to go for a superpower, and it can even need an Earthquake, because that's not even enough to fill it. It's Earthquakes, they're filling, but Melmetal is hungry. So superpower almost comes through, but the opponent instead decides to surrender. That is a good game. Very well played. So here we go again. Melmetal on the lead, and we've got Dialga. So this is a great lead for the Melmetal, able to resist all of Dialga's damage except for the Thunder, and the Dialga is staying in. So you've got to know that the opponent was expecting a Melmetal, and they have a plan, and they are going to execute by staying in against the Melmetal. Maybe they're looking to let the Melmetal debuff themselves a couple times and throw the damage, the debuff, so they can get some extra damage in. But either way, the Melmetal is going to be able to get 2 shields with these superpowers now, and the Dialga is in a very bad situation. With a shield advantage now, hopefully this Melmetal is going to be able to put some pressure up, but with double defense debuffs, he has to respect Draco Meteor. So superpowers are going to keep flinging through. Melmetal is just going to keep going no matter how debuffed it gets. It's just going to keep going. But Bruetschle decides to swap into Reshiram to try and bait out a counter to the Dragons. And what do we get but a Palkia? So this is actually not a great matchup for Reshiram, because Palkia has the Aqua Tail in order to do some chip damage against the Reshiram, but because the opponent has no shields, this is going to be an easy call for Bruetschle to not shield here. Save a shield for his Zekrom, because the opponent clearly does not seem to have a super hard counter to the Dragons in the back. Now this looks specifically like the Triple Sinnoh team, so I actually expect there to be a Giratina Origin in the back. And we're going to see once this opponent swaps in, is it going to be the Giratina? Nope, it's a Melmetal, completely flipping my expectations here. But the Melmetal on Bruetschle's side is significantly further ahead on energy and is going to be able to fire off 2 superpowers before the Melmetal is even going to be able to get on with... Well, I lied. They got 1 superpower off, and then there was a CMP tie. So the superpower now comes through, the Melmetal is debuffed, and now Zekrom is going to be able to finish this match off with a shield, easily going to be able to farm down Dialga and shield the move, and then hit that Melmetal with a Wild Charge, and that's effectively going to be a good game. So we'll see if Bruetschle plays it out that way, but that's what I expect here. Definitely, yep, there's the Wild Charge, ready, locked and loaded. Gonna go for the Wild Charge and a half here. And now Zekrom is just showing us how strong it can be in this Open Master League. Zekrom, I love Zekrom. I missed the Reshiram and Zekrom raids the first time around, so I was happy to be able to get at least a decent one. But man, I don't have a very good Zekrom, so I would love to use it, though. It would be a lot of fun. So here we go again. We've got Zacian in the lead. This is pretty good for Zacian, but we do know from the previous match that Zacian can definitely eat a close... Zacian can not one-shot Melmetal with a close combat. So Melmetal is going to eat this and then throw off these rock slides, trying to do the extra damage from the debuffs. Now that's how you play against the Zacian. You effectively wait for them to debuff themselves and then throw your moves or your energy, so that way you're going to be able to effectively do more damage and threaten the Zacian, because otherwise this thing is tanky enough and the moves are spammy enough that it's really actually very dangerous. So opponent's going to safe swap in their Dialga. Very common core in the Master League being Zacian and Dialga. They're very hard to beat. Unless you've got a Melmetal with 2 superpowers, then the Dialga doesn't have much of a chance. So, is Dialga going to shield this? I don't know, but he's undercharging just a bit to get some farm in. Excellent call by Bruetschle here to get ahead on energy with his Reshiram. And now, even though Zacian is likely to come back in, double resisting the Dragon Breaths, the only moves that it's likely to have being on the lead is Wild Charge and Close Combat, which is not a moveset that can one-shot this Reshiram by any means. Reshiram doesn't need to wait for this debuff. He's going to go straight for the overheat, do a ton of damage on this Zacian, and one-shots it. That was absolutely magical, and the only answer the opponent has left is a Zekrom, and with Bruetschle Zekrom in the back as well, that's a good game, and the opponent knows it, so they surrender. Next game, we've got Melmetal on the lead versus another Melmetal, the shiny Melmetal Flex here against Bruetschle. He's probably shaking in his wee little boots, but we'll see how he handles that kind of situation. He's going to farm up some energy, going for as much energy as he can before he hits 100, and now he's going to bait the superpower, hoping that he can get a shield out of this Melmetal by farming up so much energy. And now Melmetal's going to shoot off with a CMP tie. And I think they were hoping to catch the superpower CMP tie. So now the superpower comes through. The other Melmetal's debuffed, so now Bruetschle can easily go for superpowers here and take advantage of the debuff. I think he has to shield, though, at this point, just in case it's another superpower. Yes, it is. Bruetschle's going to take these superpowers to town with his Melmetal, looking to take full advantage of the fact that the opponent is not swapping out. Almost one-shots their Melmetal. Beautiful. And now Reshiram comes in to soak the charge move because apparently that wasn't a CMP tie. Superpowered, tickling Reshiram just a wee little bit. And the opponent comes in with their Shadow Apex Lugia in an absolute flex, dude. Oh, that's a beautiful Pokemon. Look at that thing. Let's look at it close up, shall we? Oh, I'm not even going to kaboom it because that thing is beautiful. Look at it. Yeah, if you've seen the purified versions too, folks, they're gorgeous. I don't normally purify my shadows, but those things make it hard not to because they're absolutely beautiful. Anyway, so the Melmetal's now going to come in against this Shadow Lugia, be able to farm it all the way down. No, he's going to go for the Rock Slide to make sure he doesn't soak a charge move by accident here. Very articulate play by Bruetschle to make sure he doesn't eat any extra shadow damage. And here comes Melmetal. And you know what the opponent has in the back is something that doesn't want to see Melmetal. Or that's all they've got. No, they definitely don't. They definitely don't want to see the Melmetal. Oh, it's a Togekiss. Look at that. An unshielded Togekiss. Bruetschle is going to absolutely annihilate this thing by going for this Wild Charge. You know what? The opponent brings in something that has almost no HP, no energy, and it's absolutely destroyed. And the opponent surrenders. Your opponent brings in something with almost no HP into a matchup that they know they can't win. You know that they're weak to whatever you have in the back. So Togekiss being a perfect example here. Now we've got an Excadrill on the lead. And this is actually a very dicey matchup because if Bruetschle actually takes a Drill Run, that's a lot of damage. And so we're going to see that happen now because that's Drill Run. He didn't shield. That's a lot of damage. So we're going to see a superpower come through. No, he's going to bait the Rock Slide. Man, 5-head moves here by Bruetschle. He's going to be able to take this Rock Slide, get a shield out of the opponent, and now look to go for most likely what is a superpower, but he has to shield up this Drill Run in order to survive long enough to do so. I wonder if the opponent's probably going to try... Why would you go for Rock Slide? I'm not sure why you would do that. Maybe to get some extra farm just in case he didn't shield, but even still, that doesn't seem right to me. But anyway, Bruetschle's going for superpowers here. Going to get the first shield. Going to go straight for a second superpower and look to get some huge damage off on this Excadrill. Does he get it? I don't care. It's Excadrill. It's all right. Now, Reshiram comes in. The Drill Run has to be respected here. The opponent is overfarming just a bit. And they're not going to be able to get to another move, though. So I think Bruetschle has to... Yeah, he has to shield. They go for the Rock Slide. If you're ever in a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where you are the Excadrill user, Drill Run is stab damage. It will do more damage than Rock Slide any day of the week unless the Drill Run is resisted. So always want to be throwing Drill Run in that situation. But Overheat slaps this Togekiss if Bruetschle's able to get to a crunch before his Reshiram gets farmed down by Charm. And the opponent not having any shields left is not going to have any way to deal with this. And the opponent comes up with Kyogre, and you've got a Zekrom in the back. You know this game is as good as in the bag. And that is going to wrap up this final game of the series. Zekrom just going to get to this Wild Charge, and the Kyogre's not getting to another move other than Surf. So no Blizzard, no Thunder, no nothing. Kyogre's going to go down in a blaze of glory. Electrocuted, and then we're going to just farm down extra. You have to get him with... You have to bring in the Melmetal in order to catch this charge move. Because otherwise, yeah, the Excadrill would definitely have taken out Zekrom. So, very good game on both sides. Bruetschle just absolutely dominating the Master League with this team. So, once again, Master League specialist of Rock, Paper, Slug, flexing all over the Master League with Double Dragons and a Melmetal. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. And I don't do a whole lot of Master League content. Seems like this week I do a little bit more than usual, but always happy to share some battles because I'm not so great at it myself. But I appreciate you guys watching this video. Thank you so much, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.